Okay, I think we're live,
All
Rachel.
right. Awesome.
How are you
Hello,
doing?
everyone. I'm all right. How are you?
I'm doing well. I'm excited to be making some ornaments with you today.
Me too. Oh, hang on. I'm sorry. I just clicked on the video. I forget how I watch the comments always.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to the
like,
page. Let's open it from there.
yeah, that's how I usually do it. But then I click on something and I'm trying to remember what. Let's see. There we go. And I'm so, say hi if y'all are here. I almost said good morning. Shira Kinamoto. I'm so bad with pronunciation. I apologize.
It's Leanne. Welcome, Leanne and Shira, Robin.
Oh, okay. She changed her name.
Yeah.
I can't keep up. Everyone's excited to make ornaments. Me too.
I'm gonna share this really quick. I always forget how to do anything. I'm exhausted today, but here we go.
I
Okay.
think it's a trend for today. We're all just like still Thanksgiving out.
I woke up, my mom was just like reading in front of the fireplace, and I was just like, can I just do that all day today? I don't need to prep a whole sale right now. I'm just gonna go read by the fire.
Yeah, we have other things by the fire. A lot of junk, so we can't light it, but that's okay. But does everyone have all their beads picked out for the ornaments? Who's making ornaments with us today? Shira's tired too. I bet. Sam, do you have any new ornaments
What do you mean new
for your
ornament?
tree? For your tree.
I do. Um, this one's from Michelle Spine. Okay, I'll put it.
Oh,
Can you see that?
I'm slacking. No, but I
It's
also didn't realize you had an underneath.
and then I have the pineapple from Brenda. I think that's all I have so far. Um, and then I really makeshift, like made a. Can you see this?
Does it work? I love it. Does it work?
Sort of works. I just made it on bail making pliers on with some 18 gauge wire because the thickest I had right now. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
and it sort of worked. The issue is the tree. There's no like really strong center stem.
Ah,
So like
well,
it's
you
just
just
like
gotta
sort of.
wrap it to the tree. You
What was that?
just have to wire wrap it to the tree, and then you can store it with the tree. I've seen people that like the people that have like 1,000 trees around their house and they're all beautiful, and they just saran wrap them with all the ornaments on, and then take it off the next year. I've
Really?
seen that. I've seen that for real.
Wow. Okay, I'm gonna go
I feel
catch up.
like that is winning at life.
Welcome Amelia, Lori, Kathy, all of the lovely faces,
That's
Lynn Belmont.
awesome.
Okay, awesome. Today's reading class is gonna be super casual. I liked how Rachel put it. We're all a little tired
Our
after
super chill beating, our super chill beating party. I am at my parents' house right now, and I'm very allergic to their house. Very allergic. So if I sound scratchy, that is why I am allergic to their house.
and there are many
Yeah,
cats.
yeah. Fun fact: I'm actually allergic to cats. So
Just by owning two cats.
yeah. Well, I'm more allergic to the black one, but I mean I'm used to them. So, but anyway, who's excited to make ornaments? I'm excited.
I'm very excited. I have two here, my camera's on. I have two ornaments I prepped for this. The tape, honestly, just like it's just I would recommend it just for like while you're designing, while anyone's designing them, just so you can see it laid out, not worry about like them falling off as you go. Works great. A little piece of scotch tape.
Shira's counting how many times I say y'all today. Apparently, that's something I say a lot.
I type y'all more than I say y'all because sometimes I'm like, I need to use it when I type because how else do I address everyone? How's that?
Yeah.
Yeah, but I need to. I need to use. I I don't think I ever say it.
Yeah, I mean, I am in Atlanta right now, like Lynn said, I grew up here, so um that's a word that I actually boycotted for a very long time and I wouldn't say it. And then as soon as you start saying it, you can never stop.
Of course.
But anyway, I'm ready to start if you are. Do you want to talk about do you want to talk first? You want me to talk first?
You're welcome to start us off. I didn't pick the giveaway winner, so I'll announce that after the stream.
Okay.
And
Do you have a giveaway
then,
for this week?
yeah, the giveaway this week is a set of the ornament frames. It'll be from the next batch. I only have a few left of this batch, so the winner will get a set from the next batch that's about to arrive. By the way, if you want some of these, there's literally I think 3 sets of them left on the site. So if you want those, you might want to buy them like now. Into your cart, so they save for you. But we have one more batch, the last batch before the holidays coming, in case anyone wants to make more frames for gifts, because they're getting inspired by today's class.
Yeah.
Yeah, take us away, Rachel.
Sure. So, okay. So I figured you all kind of knew how to use an ornament frame. I think it's fairly self-explanatory because it's just like wire and you just like finish it off. So what I decided to do is because I have to make everything more complicated is I decided to hammer mine, the whole thing, hammer it flat. And then can I see I'm trying to see.
Oh no, let me.
And then I wrapped it. So this is mine. And I wrapped it a few different ways. I use smaller seed beads because this is what I had and this is what I liked. So on this one, I wrapped them just normal how you would wrap beads, I guess. And this one I kind of like twirled it, and this one I did kind of a tighter twirl. And then I also hammered the end to make the hook, which you'll notice is kind of just a giant ear wire. Today, I think I'm going to put a bead on there. I'm going to go, I wonder if I have a bead that'll fit from last week's package. I actually just got my new beads today.
That was pretty fast.
I know.
Not bad for a holiday week.
Very fast, especially considering I never got an email saying that they sent.
Wow, that's odd.
For some reason,
yeah. Usually get an email?
I usually get an email every week, so it was just. I just figured that I waited too long, because usually I wait too long.
No. We got yours out. I remember getting yours out Wednesday.
Yeah. But this week I actually didn't wait that long, and I realized that afterwards. But I was very surprised to find it on the counter today when I got back. So anyway, so I guess, well, where should I start? I guess we could start with hammering it. So I got my bench block. I actually have a giant hammer today because I forgot to bring my little hammer. So got a nice little arm workout because I'm very weak and this is very heavy.
Hammer to the largest hammer.
It's so heavy. So I'm literally just hammering this whole thing. And if you notice,
so you hammer the whole thing so that you can then wrap onto it?
Yeah. I like it flat. You could wrap onto it with it not flat, but I liked it flat.
And then I guess this also work hardens it a bit.
Yeah, I mean, like the wires are already pretty hard. So I'm sure you could use these wrapping techniques without hammering it. I like to make it complicated. If you are going to hammer it, I found it's easier to, with the way that it's all attached, you can kind of put it on the end and then you can get it flat. You'll see what I mean when you go to do this. But if you do it out here, then they're not all flat on the thing and there's like, they get in the way.
I think that's a
So
very smart idea so that the whole thing doesn't break apart with a
yeah, and
hammer.
then if you want to put a hole in one end, you're just gonna have to hammer that a lot bigger. Hopefully I made that big enough. This hammer makes so much more noise than my tiny hammer. I don't know if that's big enough. But you could also take your round nose pliers and just,
Make a loop, yeah.
I say that and now it's giving me trouble. I'm sorry, I know I'm out of the thing. I don't actually have a chair down here. So this is a standing desk. But yeah, so if you hammer it, you can loop it like that. You can of course loop it regular too. I kind of liked putting the hole in it because I left them all the same size. But if you looped all the ends like that too, I think that would be really pretty. And you can hang like little like brioches or something off the edge, crystals. So
I'm shocked knowing you that you don't have a briolet hanging off the bottom of your ornament.
yeah, but it's because I have a shiny vintage button.
It's so blingy. I love it.
It is. My boyfriend told me it looks like a spider, but I'm like, not if you hang it. If you look at it like this, maybe. But
Yeah, I can see that. It's because it's yeah, I can see that.
I was so mad when he said that. So I guess should we start wrapping it? Should we start making the hook? What do you want to do?
Yeah, why don't we start with wrapping it?
Okay. I should have pre-hammered this. I'm not gonna hammer all of them right now.
That'll be very loud if we were both hammering. So I'm just gonna leave you to the hammering. Wait, no, but then I can't wrap along. So here we go. Guys, let us know if it gets too loud.
I'm only gonna I'm not gonna hammer the whole thing. I'm gonna leave it there. I've got about half of them done, so it'll be okay.
And are you hammering till flat?
Yeah, I hammered them not like completely flat. It's still got some weight to it, but it's significantly flatter. And then when you hammer it, sometimes it'll warp a little bit, so you gotta flip it over and hammer it on the other side too. Okay. I love the texture it gives it though. I don't know if you can see that.
Well, I mean, I love a hammer look at any metal. This you have to be careful not to hammer too much because they're not solid silver. There's a base metal under here. So
yeah, I actually you have to hammer a significant amount to get to the base metal because in my original one, I don't think I even got to it. Maybe a little bit like on the end part where I put the hole in, but so while you're doing that, I'm gonna just get some wire. This is just like craft wire. I think I honestly don't even know what it was. I found it in my random wire bin. It's silver colored and it is 28 gauge. You could use whatever gauge you want. This is just what I had. And it fits well with the seed beads. So I'm just cutting off a piece. And what?
Just getting out. Now I put away my smaller seed beads because I was only using 6/0 that I could thread onto the frames. But with this technique, I could use any that I wanted.
Yeah, like a big reason, I don't think I said this on here. I think I said it to you, but a big reason I did this way is because I don't have a lot of big seed beads. And I know like unless you're a beautiful like bead weaver, like you probably just have whatever you got from the craft store or wherever you buy seed beads. So like all of my seed beads are really fairly small. And I didn't want to just like buy new beads just for an ornament. And I didn't want to use my nice, more expensive stones for the ornament. Why are you in here? Go to the window.
Yeah, that's actually, I'm just spotlight mine for a second because one of my favorite things about this project is like, is the challenge to use anything that you currently have in your stash already. Like I found the most random, I got these years ago, these like flower glass beads. It was just like fun. Just grab whatever you like and grab what you can. It's kind of a challenge. Not every bead will fit onto the thick frame.
I
So
think that would be good if you hadn't recently gotten rid of like all of your old beads that you don't use anymore, like I did. Because I sent them all away. I was like, not gonna use this.
this is why most beaders are not able to part with any of their beads, Rachel. I have tubs of
I
upstairs, like in my attic upstairs, that I will never touch. There's just like I couldn't even tell you from all sorts of old craft projects.
in moving to New York, I've just like I got a let it go mentality. Um, so I'm very good at the whole Marie Kondo thing. Does it bring you joy? I'm trying to find like a little thing to put the seed beads in because what?
Does it bring joy? Nope, get rid of it. Oh,
Yeah.
did they bringing that show back? Was there ever more of that show? Because I remember
I
watching.
actually never watched it. I just watched the so I guess we're gonna use this little Benadryl cap. Because I didn't bring any like little bead trays. So I think I'm gonna use these pretty seed beads today. It's just like a random mix I have. So basically I anchored it on, just kind of like wrapping it around. I'm gonna go ahead and do this one first. Where it's just like a flat wrap. If you do it that way, your ornament will be like directional though. So it won't be really double-sided, but I still think it's pretty. So I'm just
Oh,
gonna throw it on.
are you wrapping to the front or the side? To the
I don't know. To the front. I just kind of like wrap the wire on there just so it won't go anywhere. That's part of it. Part of the reason I put this button on is so that I didn't have to be too concerned with how the middle looked.
Kathy's asking, will we show how to make a hanger for the ornaments? We will after this
yeah.
part. No, we can do that next, and then
Okay. I'll show it after I do this wrap.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lynn
I
says,
see Lynn's comment. I was gonna comment on it. So Lynn, I started beading at 10 years old. And there are some beads from like Walmart that don't really bring me joy anymore. So like plastic letter beads don't bring me joy.
oh, don't could have
Like
spelled
the
our
sparkly
names.
ones. What?
Could have spelled our names.
Yeah. I love holographic plastic beads. No shade to anybody that does love holographic plastic beads. They have their time and place, but their time and place does not exist in my apartment, so they had to go. So I'm just starting on enough beads to like almost go the length of a whole one of these. Commitment would be
Let me pull you up so I can see better. Okay.
Peyote, tubular peyote socks for each side of the frame. That's insane, Shara. I could never do that. I don't know how to bead weave. I think I tried it once. I don't like to read instructions. So anything that involves me reading instructions, I don't usually, I get overwhelmed. Like if I go into a restaurant and it's got too many pages and it's not, they're not separated by like categories or anything, like sometimes I'll leave. I've been to sushi restaurants before and their menus is too big of like all the different rolls and I'll leave. So.
Could you explain what exactly you're doing first here? Because actually, it's not quite what I was expecting.
Yeah. So the first one I'm gonna do is this one. Oh, I clicked on my charger. Hang on just a second. Good to know this hook works. So this one is the one I'm doing where they're just kind of wired onto the flat bit.
Oh, so you're not. I assume that you were doing a wrap after every seed bead.
So,
which you are.
So I mean, I guess you could do that, but I don't think it would line up as well. So I lined them all up and then I wrapped in between each one. So I went back. So I'm throwing all the beads on first. Huh?
Okay, so you're making a full string and then wrapping backwards.
Yes.
Got it. Okay, I will start stringing then.
Sorry.
So how was everyone's Thanksgiving? Did everyone eat some delicious food? Comment below. Let us know what
Yeah.
what the
Your
star
favorite thing was,
dish
yeah.
was.
My favorite.
Trying to think what I loved the
Hi,
best.
Karen. Hi, Monica. What was my favorite thing? So the last year I haven't been well, maybe not the last year, but the last few months I've been doing like a cheater keto. I'm like kind of doing keto, but once in a while I will not. I'm not really supposed to have like bread. It gives me a stomach ache, and then sugar gives me a headache a lot of the time. So it was weird doing Thanksgiving this year because I found like a lot of the things I liked in the past were too salty for me, or like too sweet, or I don't know.
Yeah.
I've had a perpetual stomach ache for 3 days, so
Oh,
yeah. But I think what was my favorite thing? My
all
sister
like
made
last
some rolls that were really good.
what
All
do you what do
what?
you say? The last 2 days of eating have now blended together for me. But I think my we went over for a backyard hang yesterday with some family in San Francisco, and there were some amazing just roasted potatoes, a little sumac on them. It's very
With a little what on them?
my aunt put sumac on them.
What is sumac?
It's a spice that's bright red. I couldn't really tell you much more. Um,
What does it taste like?
it's a very bright flavor. It's used in a lot of Middle Eastern cooking. It's in the za'atar blend. Um, oh,
Kathy,
it's
that
so good.
sounds amazing. I think I want to live with Kathy. Everything she eats sounds so good.
Let's see. For those who watch later, Kathy said on Thursday we did a steam pot with there's a North Carolina shrimp and mussels with corn, potatoes, and sausage. Wow, my goodness.
Yeah. So from now on, I'm going to Kathy's house to eat.
I mean, you've had Kathy's cookies.
Yeah, I did. They were so good. They were gone in a day.
Oh
She
my
sent us
goodness.
a good amount, and they were gone in a day. We do not joke. It's like we argued about them. My boyfriend was like, "Did you eat the last cookie?" I'm like, "Number one, they're my cookies."
Kathy's my friend.
My cookies. Number
Oh,
two, no, did you look? Anyway,
oh.
okay, so I'm at this point, I'm not gonna thread them all the way to the end because when you wire in between each bead, it does take up space. So I'm gonna take my wire and hold it and wrap like as close to the end as I can just to kind of anchor it there. I don't really have a number of times, I'm just kind of doing it. And then you're gonna push your beads as close as you can to that little wrap you just did. All right, and then I'm gonna start wrapping the beads, and the hardest one is the first one. I'm having trouble today. You know, I thought it would be easier to bead standing up, but it's actually difficult. I was
No
trying to
chair.
find my brother's chair, but he took it.
Today.
Nope, no chair option. There's actually no chairs in here. I kind of considered clipping my phone to the bed, but then decided against it. Okay. So,
Monica says, I didn't know sumac was edible. I believe there are, see, I did a little research into this last summer, really randomly. There are two types of sumac, if I remember correctly. And one of them is edible. One of them is very much not, but they look very different. They're very different looking plants. But when you can buy this spice at like a Middle Eastern market, probably any grocery store.
You're gonna go in timeout.
Rachel's talking to her cat. Let me, for those who aren't.
He's being bad. He's being bad. You can go in timeout. There's a room back there, and he is determined to get into it. What's up?
I threaded on too many seed beads. Okay. Let's see.
It'll be okay. Just skip wrapping in between a few of them. Nobody's gonna look too close, except for you. You'll just be upset about it the rest of your life. But
Alrighty. So I'm going to go back up a couple steps. So you left. About how much room did you leave at the end?
Maybe like a quarter to a half an inch, maybe. I just kind of eyeballed it.
Okay, and then you started. Let me just pin you again. And then you started your wrapping.
Yeah, I just wrapped a little bit on the end, a little bit of wire. Let me see. Why is this not focusing? Focus, please, camera. Can you see that? So I just wrapped a little bit of wire on the end, and then I shoved this bead like as close as I could to it, and started wrapping in between them.
Okay.
I feel like this was supposed to be like super chill, and by doing this, I made it unchill. Now it's complicated.
Alrighty, I'm gonna get started now with my wrapping. Let's see how simple this is.
I think I put too many beads on too, Sam. It's okay. Either that and you can always like push them closer together for if your wrap is kind of loose.
I do love that you did take like a frame that is meant to make like the simplest ornaments, and you're like, I could totally make this really complicated with like tons of.
Now you know what it's like to live with me. My boyfriend's like, I'm just gonna fry a couple of eggs, and I'm like, I'll make you an omelet.
Have you mastered a French omelet yet?
I don't even know what that is. I actually cannot really make omelets. I make like frittatas because it always ends up being too thick to fold, and then if you try to fold it, it falls apart.
Right.
So I can't make omelets. I make frittatas, and it sounds a lot fancier than an omelet, but really it's just because I can't make omelets. Hello, Kelly.
Welcome, okay. Kelly. Anyone just joining? We're making ornaments today.
So this is what mine looks like now. So I guess I'll show how to do the hook. It's very easy. I was telling Sam when I made it, I was trying to come up with something like interesting and new, and I ended up making an earring hook for the ornament. But I will show you how to make it anyway. So this is 20 gauge wire. I did not measure it, but I'm just gonna cut a piece off. This is just like craft wire. It's actually, I think, a little bit stiffer than copper wire, just because I don't even know what this is.
It almost looks like an aluminum wire.
It might be there. This is probably one of my oldest beading supplies, I'm guessing, because I had switched to like white wire at one point. It was like silver plated back a while ago. So
and it works.
I forgot where I was going with that. The labels are not on it anymore, was my point. Welcome, Monica. Thank you so much for your service in the ICU. Oh my gosh. I can't even imagine that. That takes a strong person. Okay, so I've got my piece of wire. And if your aluminum is super soft, I don't know if it's going to work for this. You might need to double it. Or just wrap around it. So I'm just going to make my normal little loop at the bottom. I bent it 90 degrees, and then I'm just going to twist back my little loop. So you can make it plain like this one, but I'm going to add a bead because I think that's fun. And I have some barrel that I got from I'm so excited to open my new package today. I'm going to use this one because it looks different than all the other ones. And thread it on, and then so for this one, I didn't bend it all the way. I actually just did it like a slight bend, but I think I'm gonna bend it all the way on today. If you have longer nails, sometimes I kind of like slip my nail under there and use it to bend against to hold the bead in place while you bend. And then.
So you just bent it 90 degrees? Is that what you just did?
Yes. Sorry, I'm watching the cat. And then this next part you can do with a Sharpie or whatever. What do you see, buddy? Why can't you just behave for once? For once in our lives. And these are barrel making pliers. I just kind of bent around them. But like I said, you can use a Sharpie, and I meant to bring a Sharpie and I forgot it. So, and then you can just clip it wherever you want it to be. You could also leave it blank like this and wrap around the stem. And then depending on how hard your wire is, see, it just looks like an earring hook. It's an earring hook for a tree.
It's 100%.
I did it
Ornaments
like
for your tree, please.
I was trying to make them like these ornament hooks my mom has, but I couldn't remember what they looked like, and I really just ended up making those. And then, oops, I'm sorry, I've got the jiggly stand today. It was so much easier to bring than my other setup. And then if your wire isn't hard enough, the nice thing about this is it doesn't have to go through anyone's ear, so you can flatten it as much as you want. Just be careful not to hammer your bead, obviously. And a smaller beading hammer would definitely help with that. Okay. But yeah, so that's the hook. And I got a wire here, but it'll be.
I don't know if you can see this.
Let me see. But my screen, it doesn't stay pinned on where you put it. It stays pinned on wherever I put it. Although I can't seem to get off me.
Here, I cancel the spotlight.
Oh, I like the end you did. It's fancy.
It's so fancy.
Thank you, Monica. Yeah, I teach. Well, I have our YouTube page, or on Sam's YouTube page, ear wires I taught, and I didn't teach this exact one, but I do teach how to like add beads and wire them. But I love doing this when you're making earrings and you feel like it needs something a little extra, but you don't want to make them longer, you don't want to make them bulkier. So when you make your ear wires, you can just slip a bead onto there, and it like totally brings the design together a lot of the time. It's a real big difference between store-bought and handmade. And even if you buy store-bought ear wires, the little spring that's there and the little beads, you can pull them off and you can slide another bead onto there. You might have to straighten this out a little bit and then slide it back, but you can slip a bead onto there to make earrings. So now this could go in my loop here. It could go, if I put a hole in it. If you want to put it in your loop here and you want this to hang a certain way, you can take your, probably wouldn't use these exact ones, but you can just turn your loop, see, to the side. Which is what I would probably do since I'm wrapping kind of directionally on this. I'm not going to hang this on here right now because it's going to annoy me. What?
Or just make the loop the other direction to start. Hey.
But then you would have to hammer. Well, mine is hammered, so it wouldn't have worked. Although now I've kind of like twisted this, but that's okay. It'll work out because I'm not doing the flat wrap on this one. So for the next one.
Do you mind if I just pause you really quick, Rachel? Just take a little.
Yeah.
On to the next thing. Just want to say hello to everyone. If everyone would comment just how you're feeling today. It's always nice to see how the group's feeling as we all have our little ornament making party together. I'm curious also who's making ornaments right now. Let us know. I think Amelia said she was making some. Alrighty, looking forward to seeing your comments in a moment.
Somebody asked me about where the live is.
Oh.
Can't keep up with them.
Well, Rachel's doing that.
Oh, I don't think I can tag it. Yeah, go ahead and talk. I'm sorry.
While Rachel's doing that, I'll just show a couple of the ones I was just working on. Okay, so the first one I had posted a while back is just with a bunch of crystals. And then I just kind of jigged up this coil so I could put it on the top of the tree, or at least attempt to. This one, okay, it was on this project that I realized that the 6 of CBs worked a lot better, because I originally had bought 8Os and they totally don't work with these frames, but the 6Os work really nicely. And then the 2 I was working on today, first one was this one. Just totally going into the bin and seeing into my stash and seeing what I could find. So it's got
So
different
do you have
beads. What do you say?
you have the tape on there so that you can change around the designs before you finalize it?
Yeah. So I like to see. I basically come up with 2 designs for each of these. I came up with like for 2 of the points. I have 2 different designs going on, and each one repeats 4 times, just like this.
Okay. Yeah.
I like to figure it out on 2 of them and see how they look together.
Mm-hmm.
And then I tape those off and then continue around until then I can see it all together and make sure I like it, and then start looping these edges. So I'm gonna just go ahead and loop. So I'm just using Scotch tape. It came off super easily.
Yeah, once you loop the edges, I actually didn't try to loop the edges.
I experimented a couple different ways with the loops. I like them not being super visible. So I'd make the loop going away like this. And I had to do it somewhat thick to fill up the remaining space.
Yeah, my tiny pliers are not that strong. That's another reason I didn't really make the loop. I would bring strong pliers with me. They're not really strong enough for looping thick wire.
Let's see. And then, so that now I have the loop. I don't do a 90-degree bend on these because it's the wire. It's just too difficult.
Yeah.
So that's just going backwards. So then when you're, let's see if I did it quite, it's not quite straight, but basically it's heading towards the back. And that's really quickly just finishing off that end. In terms of design, I quickly realized I liked having the larger beads closer to the edges in terms of weighting the design. Like I could have had these flowers. I had these flowers originally farther in, and maybe that actually would have worked fine. But even for this one too. I just think the design looks a bit more cohesive.
No, I agree with you.
When the larger beads are on the outside rather than the inside. So on the second one is when I started realizing, oh, actually some spacers would be really nice in this.
That was something I was a little bit struggling with, I think, also when I was trying to design like that, is that all of the beads that I really wanted to use, the beads were just too big. I don't really have, you had sent me 2 colors of the seed beads with the big holes, but actually none of my other seed beads have holes that big. None of them. So
Right, because I sent you 2 batches of seed beads, right?
Yeah, and I use them. I use the green ones on this one.
Oh, so you were using the 6.0 on the project today?
Well, no, not on this one. On this other one I have in my hand right now.
Okay, do you want me to spotlight?
Sure. So I wanted to do kind of a more rustic approach on them too. So for this one, it's not as pretty as my other one. I had some larger whole wood beads, and then I used copper, and then I used the green seed beads that you had sent me, and I used copper wire on the edges. And I did still hammer these so that I had something kind of to grip it to, but I just wrapped the edges instead of looping them, and then I made my little loop on here. If I made this one again, I would try to make this loop prettier for sure. But I thought this one
edges though, it looks nice.
It reminded me kind of like the cute little rustic nativity scenes you see
Yeah.
So I really like an earthy approach to things a lot of the time. So I thought it was fun. I was very excited when I found out the wood beads fit on here. I love this like little pattern right here. I might make a necklace or something out of that. Lori wants to know if the frames are bendable. How would you want to bend them is my question. Let me see. I don't know exactly what bending you would want to do. So you can maneuver them to a certain extent. Am I still spotlighted or no?
No, I switched back to mine. I think I might be able to answer the question a little bit. Because when I was doing quality control, like I have a bin of these to see like this one's totally like these two are not facing the right direction so I took them out of the inventory. And so I've been experimenting for myself, just seeing how if I can still use them. And I do find that like if you bend it not too much, but gently, like you can basically get it back to what you want. So I imagine you could also get it to something else if that's what your intent is, Lori.
Yeah, maybe if you wanted to like make a few, like 4 of them push in a little bit or something so that it's like a little bit more of a 3D effect, that would be cool. Kind of like, I don't know if you can see that.
Oh, wow.
That could be cool. So make a bend in the middle of each wire to make a little different design. Yeah, you could probably do that. Yeah, so like this. Oh, that would be so cute if they were all like, oh my gosh, I see what she's saying. Like all of the snowflake ends are going like, look at that, that's so cute.
I love that. I'm gonna go ahead and just finish up this one, just so I show it in full, completed ornament made like in the most standard way. So I've gone ahead and I kept making loops all facing the same direction. Let's see, the hook we just made with Rachel goes this way, so one of the loops I'll make the other way. So just have a couple more. And it's totally like not how you would make a loop normally, but it totally works for this. And I think it actually hides it pretty well.
Yeah, I think it's fine. Like video on Facebook is very far behind, so I'm like, is it spotlighted on you?
Right, right. You never know.
I just want to make sure I'm not supposed to be doing anything right now. Oh,
no, you're good. I'm just finishing this one up.
I don't want to like do something and then I'd be like, what were you doing? I missed it.
So then this one I said I wanted to do a loop this way, so totally need to actually remember to do that.
You don't. Like you could do what I did and use your flat nose pliers and just twist it.
What do you mean?
Like if you put your loop in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Oh, just twist it.
Yeah. Yeah, you just take your, well, I don't really like those ones, but like if you have, all my pliers are tiny, so some are better than others for different things, but like ones like this, and you can just take it and bend it. So I don't know. I do that sometimes when I'm beading too. If I forget to make a loop a certain direction, it's very easy to just bend it back the other way.
I'm gonna switch back over to my camera to finish this one up.
Yeah.
Loop that we just made. Let's see. It's not there we go. Now I'm in the frame. I just opened up the loop. And there we go. Like doing it like this method is definitely probably the simplest means.
Oh, you made the hook while I was making a hook. I didn't even realize. Yay. Yes, I did.
What did you
showed me. I'm losing my mind. Never mind.
Yeah, I showed you.
I'm living on Benadryl right now, and it is showing.
Look, I'm gonna hang it on my tree.
Yay!
So I kind of making a green one. You wouldn't be able to see it, but that's why I made a red one too. Alrighty, I'm gonna switch to you.
Okay, I'm gonna move my bench block actually because I don't need it anymore and I'm just so in the way. So I'm just trying to think of how I can thread these beads on faster, but I just don't have a faster way. I've seen like those little things you can get where it like spins and threads seed beads on,
I
but I just
I have a seed bead spinner. I have it.
does
It's
it
it's
work?
somewhere in storage now. I like it works fine. Yeah, it's the simplest idea. You manually spin it yourself, but it's you kind of flick it and it spins and it goes onto your wire. It's fun. I don't think you use seed beads enough to have one though.
No, I really don't. I've had BC beads for at least 10 years. Um,
Yeah.
at least. I forget about them honestly. And now that I have all those itty bitty beads, I like anything I would use a seed bead for, I'm like, oh, itty bitty amethyst? Yes. Actually, I think that's the one I don't have. But I don't have two of them. I don't have malachite and I think I don't have an amethyst.
Oh my goodness, Rachel.
I know I'm slacking. Green is not my favorite all the time. I struggle with bright green designing with it. So
What about like a peridot?
yeah, I don't know if you saw my answer to that question that Shira posed, but that was
Did
my
you
toss.
did you toss
I tossed
peridot?
peridot. I tossed it. I can't. It's too bright. I try. I did it. I've done a good job mixing it in with other beads, and I think it's really pretty. But I struggle with designing with it. It's so bright.
Oh, I love the light green has always just been like a totally favorite color of mine. So
It's
Anna asked, yeah, so to close the loops of for like in the standard method ornament frames, I just make the simplest means I found was just make a loop. You can also hammer the end um, to close it, and that also works, but the loop just takes about 3 seconds.
yeah.
And it's
I on mine. I hammered the ends on this one, and I wrapped wire around it to close it. So if you didn't want to loop it, you could do it like this. And they have their merit.
you know those BuzzFeed videos where they like do the same thing 3 ways? Like we make French toast like really simply, medium, and then like all day French toast. This is what this reminds me of. It's like
Really?
choose the input you
It's
want to
like,
put into your
how
ornament.
aggravated do you want to be today? You want to be Sam level chill or Rachel level extra? But like at work, they're always like, you always find extra things to do that we didn't need to do. I always got to make it more complicated. So, for one of the methods of wrapping, I got like super lazy and I just kind of threaded the beads on and like that, and then you can overlap them.
Wait,
So
let me
that's just
pin you.
one.
That's so
Yeah, cool.
pretty.
It's one strand of beads. You can also push them in, and then it's like really
Whoa, that is
a
stunning.
tighter. So I did that, and then also, and so that was on this. I did it like that on this one, and then I overlapped it a bunch. But on this one, I did smaller bits and wrapped it. So it's really chill. Like you can really experiment. This one I went over it a few times to get that denseness. But it's really something you can experiment with when you're wrapping the beads around this.
I love the tight knit look you have
Yeah,
right there right now.
I like for this to go. Even if I did this all the way down, I would still probably find a way to thread my wire back down because I find that anchoring it to the middle is easier. Plus, I cut a pretty long piece of wire and I can use it for like half the ornament, depending on how much wrapping I do. So that's just something to keep in mind. Does that make sense?
What do you mean use it for half the ornament?
So if I wrap all the way down with this wire and then I make its way back to the middle, then I can take it and go on to another leg of the ornament.
Oh, gotcha.
So it's all one wire. It's not like a bunch of wire cut. Yes, Robin, I wired on the button and it's a vintage one with a shank. So it's a very messy wire job. I was very messy with it. but you can't tell. So it's literally just got wire through it and wrapped around the middle. I think it is a super extra, like me. So I was very happy about it. I was like, you know what this needs? Sparkles.
Catching up on some comments. Brenda said she's already made 4 ornaments.
Oh my gosh.
So, I don't know if that's just today, but Brenda's on a roll. Becky popped in. Brenda's going to be making ornaments for the first time in years. We got Robin with us. Lori says she has holiday overload. Glad this will be available on the YouTube channel. Yes, it will be.
Yes. How are you seeing the other comments? I can't get to them.
No, these are like slightly older. That while I was talking earlier, I didn't get to read them.
Okay.
I scrolled back for a second.
Yeah, mine won't let me, but that's okay. If I click on the video, it's gonna mess everything up. So
okay.
We'll figure it out. I barely know how to use my computer, as some of you know. So
Kathy said she just finished making one, but I can't see it just because of where I'm in the live view. I think you can only see that in the other in another view. So I look forward to seeing what you've made, Kathy.
Did you have more? Were you still looking?
Well, like some of them we've already talked about, so I'm still reading.
Oh, okay.
Robin's asking about wiring on the button.
Oh, I just showed it. That's why I just showed it.
Oh, cool. Very cool. I missed that because
I can see. I've been sort of watching comments as they come. So, and Mary's asking what the base wires are. Do you know? I think it's just like base metal.
Yeah, it's just a silver plate base metal.
It's slightly coppery colored underneath. If you hammer far enough, I probably wouldn't wear it, but for the tree, it's like totally fine. If you wore it, I would wear it once it's covered in beads like this, so you know exactly what's going to touch you. It's kind of large to wear. Like no judgment if you wear it, but it's a little large.
But that's the fun here. If someone wears it, please take a selfie because I would love to see.
I feel like that will stab me in my chest if I wore it, and that would be very uncomfortable. But it would make a cute hair clip.
Yeah, I think it would work well in hair.
Okay, so here I wrapped it a little tighter this time. I think I'm gonna, yeah. I got to get some more beads on there. I made a pattern without intentionally making a pattern.
I think it's stunning.
I love it when you say that. It makes me feel like my project runway.
Wait, let's come again. I was talking.
I said I love it when you say stunning because it makes me feel like I'm on Project Runway.
Rachel's made it work.
I did. I do.
I
do make it work.
Did I tell you I talked to Heidi Klum once?
I saw her from like 10 feet away once. What did you talk to her about?
My choir was on, like this is about probably a decade ago. How old am I? Okay, it was like about like 8 or 9 years ago. The choir went on America's Got Talent, and I was the spokesperson because I was like a social one. So they gave me the microphone, and I was the one who talked to Heidi. And who was it? It was Howard Stern, Mel B.
I bet we can find that on YouTube.
And Howie Mandel. They kind of totally cut it, so there's not any footage of me speaking to them. But there's a great shot of me, like here. I'm gonna act this out for you. Let me unpin this. When they say you're going to Vegas, there's a shot of me going, woo!
I love it.
So that was my 1 second of fame. And I did go to Vegas and sat in which is basically just like a hotel like ballroom for like 17 hours straight. They take us on stage and Howie's like, "You're the fabric of this show, but this is the end of the road." And we're like, "Okay, bye." That's not even shown on TV. It was just the strangest experience. TV's not real, y'all.
You're the fabric of this show. That's so strange. Who is Howie Mandel?
Yeah, I don't know
Who is
why
that?
he's
What is he famous from?
um couldn't tell you. He hosts, I think he still hosts Deal or No Deal. Um he's also just like a very famous germaphobe. Like he will not shake anyone's hand.
That probably served him well in the last year. Um, he's probably rocking it. His zillions of dollars, not shaking hands. Um, but yeah, actually, this is turning out really pretty. I didn't make any of them like this before, but look. Is it stunning, Sam?
Michelle says Howie Mandel's a comedian.
Oh.
Oh, and Amelia also says he's a stand-up comedian. So look at that. Thank you for informing us.
Yeah, we're just very uninformed, apparently.
Oh, and in case I didn't say it, Heidi Klum is as stunning in person as she is on TV.
Was she nice?
She was very nice. Her and Mel B were very nice.
I
I'm
feel
trying to think.
like she. I feel like you would like want her not to be nice, but I feel like she's nice.
But now I'm thinking of it. I remember our first yes was Mel B. Our second yes was Howard Stern, or maybe the other way around. And then Heidi must have said no because Howie was the deciding factor.
I'm sorry, Sam.
Maybe Heidi Klum said no to us. I mean, it was fine. It was a children's course.
That doesn't make her mean though.
This is true. This is true.
I mean, some people their jam is children's courses, and some people their jam is not children's courses.
And they had us sing. They like told us what to sing in the audition. They had us sing.
Oh, really?
Yeah, they had us sing a really like sad version of like all the leaves are brown and the sky is gray. It was like, and they used it as the background music for
everyone who's wanted you to sing. I don't know if they're all here.
Oh yeah, I'm sure that was just been fabulous.
I'm just gonna pin that one thing. All the leaves are brown and the sky is gray.
Yeah, they had us do like the most depressing version. Like the original song is not that sad, but like, oh my god, the arrangement they had us do was so sad. Anyway, tangent over.
Mary, this wire is dead soft that I'm wrapping with. I believe. I don't know. It's 28 gauge, so it's so. Actually, I don't think it's dead soft. I think it's probably half hard. It's from like the craft store, from forever ago, but it is 28 gauge, so it's pretty easy to wrap with anyway. I don't really think it would make a difference if it was dead soft for me. I prefer to work with dead soft wire usually, actually, except for when I make like ear wires. Plus, that way, it gives me room to make more mistakes. So if you take it apart and it's dead soft, and it's just like slightly work hardened. Right. You worked hardened and you take it apart, it might break.
So if anyone has made ornaments or is making ornaments, post them in the gem chat so we can. Rachel and I love to see.
Yes, I get so excited.
It's literally everyone. It's the most fun thing for us. As we're like exhausted after class, and then people start posting in gem chat. It's like the most fun thing
to see what. When even weeks later, like people are still using things that we've taught.
Yeah,
it's really exciting.
Like we're still making your wrapped loop earrings.
Yeah.
Which is.
Yeah, no, it's everyone's still using our technique, and I love it because I haven't thought to use it like that. So it's really awesome to see what different people can come up with.
Totally.
What was I gonna say? Oh, I was gonna say that I'm very excited to like go home and try stringing. Because I got all that stringing supplies from you, and I'm very excited to try it.
You're gonna be
silver crimp covers
with your stringing now. What are you like? What are you gonna do?
I'm gonna dye all of my crimp covers black.
Do you think they'll oxidize in liver of sulfur?
I'm gonna oxidize all my crimp covers. Uh, like I do with all my silver. It's kind of my signature. It allows me to be a control freak over the oxidation of my jewelry. So I
Michelle's
always worry about.
Michelle asked what your seed beads are in, and that is the top of a Benadryl container because
Yes, I
oh,
forgot
it's
to bring
allergic.
like a bead. I thought I brought a bead mat. I didn't. I thought I brought something, and I didn't. So this is what I could find. And the Benadryl bottle still has Benadryl in it. It's just like chilling over there. Um, but I didn't like. It's kind of hard to work with seed beads from. I do a lot of my boxes like this. So these are Gorilla glued in. These little tabs to just separate all the seed beads because I don't use them that much. So I have like this, and then I have the little containers that lid pops off of. So it's hard to work from this box. I have to like move everything over.
Yeah.
I mean, it's fine. It doesn't bother me. I would rather have more storage room and just deal with that.
So if anyone has any questions, definitely ask us now because we're gonna wrap up now that we're at our hour mark. It's a pretty straightforward project, so just
I'm so excited to see what everyone makes.
And so we can't wait to see what you guys do. And then take photos of them on your tree. Oh my goodness.
Can I just finish with this one just to show you what I was talking about before?
Yeah,
so I'm about to the end. And so once I get there, I'm going to wrap just the wire around the end. And I actually haven't done this one before, but I'm going to see if I can thread the wire like all the way back down. It's going to take a second. But imagine I threaded it all the way back down. And then, or you could even like go like that, but I don't really like that much. And then you'll like wrap around here and you can start on another loop. Before I start on one, I usually kind of tack onto it by just like wrapping around it once. So if you're doing this method.
And then to go back to the other method, because Robin just asked about it. So Robin, for just the standard closure, because that's what I've been doing. Yeah, I'm just doing a standard. Well, actually, not. I'm even doing just like very simple loop. I'm not bending it 90 degrees. I'm just taking the end and folding it back. I like doing it backwards. So they're kind of hidden from the front of the ornament versus doing the loops sideways. And you like barely see it, and that's the end of it.
And then for another option that I showed before, I hammered the ends of mine a little bit and then I wrapped them in wire if you don't want to loop. But this one does look a little bit more rustic when you do it that way and a little bit less clean. If you did the loop method, you could also like turn all the loops sideways like this or make them all sideways and like hang things off of them or wrap them.
Like an icicle hanging from your snowflake. If you put
like a little brio or a crystal over it, or you could hang ginormous buttons on every end like this. That would be beautiful. And then your snowflake will weigh 100 pounds.
But the tree doesn't care because the tree doesn't have small ears.
That's true.
Lori's asking how much the frames cost. They're $5 for $5 on the site. And there's I don't even know if the few that I was talking about are still on the site, but if not, I have more on the way. Michelle said I would like
a few people said they're giving them for gifts.
Yeah, I saw Shira and a couple of people said they're making a whole bunch of them to gift out, which I think is a great idea. And also a great way for gifts to use up some of your extra beads that you're not using. Mm-hmm. If you're not Rachel, have already given away all your beads that you don't like.
Yeah, I mean, I have a limited amount of space in a tiny apartment, so.
Yep. For me, it was like
I wanted to make room for gems, so sue me.
For me, I just have I used to buy so many crystal glass beads. So like this sort of thing is perfect. Just it's perfect. This sort of project. I'm not going to get rid of my crystal glass beads, but I like actually finally be able to use them on this.
Mine are ginormous and we're too big for the ornaments. So that's okay. Your ornaments are beautiful.
I think
I love them.
Kathy says I'm making them for my coworkers. I love that. And Anna said
Yeah.
I'm gifting them to my small Bible class, Sunday class.
Oh,
That's such a lovely gift.
I love it.
Alrighty. I look forward to seeing everyone's projects in Gem Chat.
I'm so
Please.
excited.
All right, we're gonna end it there.
Next week, wait, hang on. Next week, I've still gotta like write it up, but if you are a member of the main group, you've seen my photos. We're gonna be working with sea glass and check glass to make inexpensive gifts that look like $1 million. So we're gonna be doing the necklace and the earrings next week because they're both really quick subjects.
Is the necklace strung?
No, I mean sort of, but no.
Well, wait, say that again.
Sort of, but no. They're just like basically long lengths I made.
Oh, cool.
And they're all just hooked together. And then I have like a vintage necklace chain that broke that I used as like an extra necklace. So that's fun for like, I don't know. I feel like people are always giving me old jewelry that's like really cute custom jewelry, but maybe I wouldn't necessarily always use.
Yeah.
So, and the chains were like so original that it doesn't work with a lot of other designs I did, but it worked perfectly with the sea glass. I mean, it looks so beautiful.
Yeah, I love what you did with the sea glass. It looked like it. I agree that you totally elevated it with the nice metals and some of the glass. Looks great.
That was the goal. So
yeah. Alrighty, I'm gonna sign off. I'm gonna go
have
prep
a great week.
So I hope everyone has a great weekend. Rest of your weekend. I'll see many of you tomorrow, I hope.
Yeah.
Bye, Rachel. Bye, everyone.